Okay, here we are up to the third page of this revision test. So, first things first, 12 centimeters, 8 centimeters, trying to find this one. So you should be using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, c squared being your hypotenuse. 12 squared plus 8 squared. You put those in your calculator, you should get 144 plus 64 equals 208, and that is your c squared. Okay? Now, if you've got 208 equals c squared, you want to get c squared, or in this instance x. You want to square root both sides. You don't want that square to be there. So if I square root 208, that will get me my x value there, which equals square root 208 equals 14.42. 14.42 centimeters. All right, the next one. You've got 60, you've got x, and you've got 48. The hypotenuse is opposite the right angle, so it's this one. So I will have x squared plus 48 squared equals 60 squared. Okay, this time I'm not solving for the hypotenuse, I'm trying to do one of the shorter sides. So 48 squared, I don't know my 48 times tables. 2,304. 60 squared is 3,600. Now I need to get the x by itself, so I'm going to take away 234 from both sides. Take 234 from both sides. And when I do that, 3,600 take 2,304 gets me 1,296. So the right hand side is going to have 1,296. The left hand side is going to have x squared. Then I've got to square root both sides. Square root both sides. And that means square root 1296 will equal x. The square root of 1296 equals 36. So the answer is 36, keep it in the units, centimeters. Number 10. Find the angle the slide makes with the ground. That's this one here. Here's our slide, there's our ground. That angle at the moment is theta. Theta, here is our theta, here's the sides of information that I have. I've got my hypotenuse, I've got the opposite to theta. I've got O and H. If I type in SOHCAHTOA, which of these have O and H? It is that top one. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So, sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. More specifically, it equals opposite 2.6 over hypotenuse 5.8. So I've got sine theta equals 2.6 over 5.8. But I don't want sine theta, I want just theta. That is the angle. So the inverse of sine theta, to get rid of that, will be arcsine. So I need to arcsine both sides. When I arcsine sine theta, only theta would be left. So I'll end up getting theta equals arcsine 2.6 over 5.8. And remember, arcsine, arccos, arctan, they give you angles, right? Just normally using sine, cos, and tan gives you side lengths. Arcsines give you angles. We're trying to find an angle here. I will put in my calculator. Second, sine, so it gets me my arcsine. 2.6 divided by 5.8 That gives me 26.63. So that's degrees. Theta is 26.63 degrees. Next question, calculate the base distance of the ladder to the slide. Here, you can just use Pythagoras. It's just asking for the value down the bottom here, my x. If I've got 2.6 squared plus x squared equals 5.8 squared, just need to put those in my calculator because I don't know those off by heart. 2.6 squared is 6.76. 5.8 squared is 33.64. I want to get x by itself, so I've got to take away 6.76 from both sides. So minus 6.76 both sides. You end up getting, so it continues over here, you end up getting x squared equals, calculator told me it's 26.88. And now I'm going to square root both sides, because that will get me just x. So that will get me my answer. Square root 26.88 equals x equals square root, wrong way, square root answer of 26.88 that I already had, 5.18 meters. Keep the units with what you already got given. That's that one. Moving on. For each of the following, find the value of x. Cos 50 equals x over 34. I want to get x by itself. So this is easy. Just have to multiply by the denominator to get rid of that denominator. So multiply by 34 to both sides. Why 34? Because at the moment x is dividing by 34. If I multiply by 34, it cancels out the 34s. I just have x. So I will have 34 cos 50 equals x. And that, when I put it in my calculator, 34 cos 50, 21.85. Next one, a little bit harder. Tan 50 equals 5 on x. I want to get rid of that denominator. So multiply both sides by x. Multiply by x both sides. That will end up getting me x tan 50 equals 5. I do not yet have the x by itself. I've got the 5 by itself. However, if I divide both sides now by tan 50, the x will be by itself. So I'm going to divide by tan 50 both sides. Tan 50 might sound strange. Think of tan 50 as just some number. If I divide both of these by that same number, it does the same thing to both sides. Tan 50 will go to the other side. It will become the denominator on the right-hand side. So this one is multiplied by tan 50. If I divide by tan 50, they cancel each other out. You end up just getting x equals 5 over tan 50. You put that in your calculator, you get your answer. 5 divided by tan 50, 4.195. That can round up to 4.2. Next one, sine theta equals 5 on 6. I am trying to figure out what the theta is. So I want to get the theta by itself. I have to do the opposite of sine, and that's arc sine. So I'm going to arc sine both sides. If I arc sine both sides, I'm going to show it in full. If I have sine to the negative 1, and then sine theta, and then on the other side I have sine to the negative 1, 5 on 6. These two cancel each other out. That is why we arc sine, to get an answer. So you'll just have theta equals arc sine 5 on 6. Arc sine 5 on 6. 56.44 is my answer. That's degrees, because we're asking about an angle. And for the last one, tan 25. Just put that straight in your calculator. Tan 25. 0.466, which can round up to 0.47. Okay, last ones on this page. Calculate the value of the unknown in the following triangles. There's my angle. This is opposite that angle, so that's the opposite side where my x is. That's the thing I'm trying to solve for. I've also got a hypotenuse. So I've got an O and a H. So which of these functions am I going to use? I have an O and a H. It's this one. Sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. And in this instance, when I put the numbers in, instead of theta, it will have 37. And it'll be x on 15. I want to get the x by itself, so just multiply both sides by that denominator. And then it won't be a fraction anymore. It will just be x by itself. So multiply by 15 to both sides. You end up having 15 sine 37. The denominator will disappear. It will just be x. So I need to type in 15 sine 37 into my calculator. 15 sine 37. 9.03 meters. And the last question for this page, we've got a 20 and a 12, and we're trying to figure out this angle here. This angle going up there, that's the opposite that we've been given there. That's an O. This value here, this side, is in between these two angles, which means that one must be the adjacent. O and A. Which of these three has O and A? It's TOA. Has tan is what I need to be using. So, tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Or more specifically, in this one, tan theta equals opposite is 20, adjacent is 12. 20 on 12. I want to get the theta by itself. So to do the opposite of tan, I've got to do arctan. So I'm going to arctan both sides. Tan to the -1, both sides. Okay? When I do tan to the -1, tan theta, over here, tan to the -1, 20 on 12. These two cancel each other out. All I'm left with is just theta equals arctan 20 on 12. So I've got to put into my calculator arctan 20 on 12. Bam. 59.04. So my answer will be 59.04 degrees. Because remember, we use the inverse, arctan, arcsine, arccos, for angles. Okay? Just let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below.